Last time we met the Concubine, and she was a huge jerk face, so let's go beat her up some more.
The royal gardens. Part of the royal palace, the gardens were shared with the people. Always full of life, a vision of the world beyond this land. It was my mother's favorite place. Now it's ponds that were filled with crystal water run foul with corruption.
We haven't heard all that much about Elika's mom.
Let's go that way.
We don't know very much about her at all. Considering the way Elika's father talked about her, though, she seemed like she held a lot of things together, including Elika and her father's relationship. It seems like all things considered, though, Elika didn't break quite as hard as her father did. The death of Elika's mother could be why her father decided to trigger the apocalypse. That could have something to do with it. But we can't prove that right now.
Over we go.
But maybe Elika's mother died while doing her duty, and he just didn't want Elika herself to suffer the same fate. I mean, the loss of a loved one can drive you to do all kinds of crazy stuff, but again, we don't know if this is the case. We still don't know what exactly the deal he made with Armin was. Maybe it involved bringing back Elika's mother, but we haven't seen Elika's mother, so that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? All in all, his motivations have a few different ways they could make sense, but we can't quite put the pieces together yet.
Well done.
There's something off here.
The royal gardens. I wish I could have come here more often. I never found the time.
Life just slips you by. One minute you're rich, the next you're staring the end of the world in the face. Or the knee. And how big is Armin?
He makes even your ego look small.
Oh, well, then we really need to stop him getting out.
Let's use the plate.
Those cranks down there, what are they all for?
These were the royal gardens. The cranks controlled water flow to the fish ponds.
Looks like the water in those ponds has turned to corruption. What happens to fish if they're corrupted?
They die.
Well, I suppose that's not as bad as some of the things I was imagining. Wonder how much longer we have.
This place does seem a bit lifeless, considering it was once a garden. But that's really appropriate, isn't it? I mean, there was no one here to tend to the flowers, or the fish, or anything. This is another puzzle stage where we do very little platforming. We still get some in before the puzzle starts, though.
If these were gardens, where are all the plants?
The corruption must have killed the few that were left. The rest... This place hasn't been tended since my mother died. There's a plate attached to that pillar over there. We can raise it if we fill that pond. It's a counterweight. The cranks control sluice gates that let the water flow to those control ponds.
Any idea which one we move first?
I think we should start over there. But as for how we open the sluice gates, I only ever saw the plate raised once as a child, and I've never seen the plate active.
Which crank should we push?
Just pick one. We can figure it out.
Right. And keep an eye open for any of our friends.
This is really just another basic logic puzzle that anyone should be able to do given enough time. You can see the arrows allow for the flow of the corruption.
Okay, turn it.
That's really all you need to know.
It's corruption flowing through there. But the counterweight should still work.
It looks like each crank controls more than one sluice gate.
We'll have to figure out which one opens which to make a channel to the control ponds.
Yeah, great. These cranks are linked to all of the pools around them.
We'll have to remember the changes they make.
Pity you can't remember the order.
I was 8 when I last saw them moved.
I think the life-giving water being replaced with the deadly corruption is kind of neat thematically. I mean, it's not subtle, but it's neat. They really want to hammer in that all life has been drained from this place and the Ur civilization in general. Pardon me occasionally stopping to think.
It's still not right.
The cranks move in both directions, so we can correct them. We can work this out.
Any Any suggestions?
You're the world-traveled adventurer who's seen it all. I thought you might have an idea.
Terrific. You get the feeling we're being watched?
It must be the Concubine. Let's keep going.
Don't you think it's odd the Concubine's not appeared? I mean, we've been sitting here and she's done nothing. Maybe she's not that bright of a concubine.
Maybe she didn't think you were bright enough to solve the puzzle.
Again, in addition to giving basic hints, the dialogue during puzzles is meant to insult the player, poke fun at the developer, and develop the prince's character a bit more. I think it's neat that it manages to accomplish all of those things in one. Don't worry, we didn't screw up, that was supposed to happen. The combination of puzzling and platforming right here reminds me of a game called Adam's Venture. Don't play it.
That's it!
You needed to sound that surprised?
Once we filled the other control pod, then they should move the plate up.
Let's get over there then.
Normally I feel that adding an entire level full of logic puzzles would be a break in the game's flow or something like that, but the game's already rather casual to begin with, and I don't mind it at all.
I can figure this out. I can figure this out.
Let's try another crank.
This makes me wonder if the prince would actually be able to solve these by himself, or if he would just give up. This one can be a bit tricky because the quickest solution requires that you turn a couple of levers that don't make any visible change. Cranks, rather, not levers. There is more than one way to solve these puzzles. This is just the easiest way I've found to do it. While we're doing this, a note about the pools of corruption. If you go anywhere near them, there's a very real danger of the prince falling into them, even if you don't actually touch the corruption itself. It's a bit of a hit detection issue, but there's no real problem if you fail. You just restart right where you were.
Push. There.
Never said you were stupid.
Never said I wasn't either. I can do more than just hit things.
The power plate is clear. We can reach the fertile ground.
I'd figured that one out too. We need to use the plates then, huh?
That's the way up.
I really think she needs to give the prince more credit. I mean, hitting things is a kind of puzzle solving. There are people who are very terrible at action games for that reason. I guess all games are puzzles when you think about it.
I hope Ormaz knows what he's doing.
It should go without saying that I like the puzzles fit well with the atmosphere of the individual levels. They don't really jut out or anything. Elika is incapacitated for a good portion of this fight. She will break out eventually, but pressing triangle just makes the prince call for her.
Elika!
I don't think calling for her has any effect on how quickly she gets up, but it's neat. The Concubine is one of the characters who likes to chain quick time events together the most. One of her QuickTime events freezes the game for about half a second. That actually just makes it easier to see coming, though. When enemies glow orange like that, we can only use our gauntlet to attack them. The reason they introduced the orange glow last is because it severely hampers which combos we can do. After we throw them in the air, we have very limited possibilities left. When you push the Concubine against a wall, you will either auto-fail a QuickTime event, or she will just disappear and reappear behind you. Similar to the Alchemist. Oh, didn't mean to do that.
Here comes the corruption. Hey!
The concubine doesn't have too many unique features to her, but she does have one that we've yet to see. She didn't taunt us all that much this time, but I'm sure the prince prefers that. The concubine seems to make the prince rather uncomfortable, as opposed to angry, like he was with the hunter.
Where's she gone?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Are you sure her disappearance isn't another illusion?
I can move. She must have gone.
Well, then let's heal the ground and get out of this place. So you used to spend time here?
I used to come here with my mother.
Yeah? I don't think she'd be too impressed with the way this place is now.
There were fountains all around here that watered the plants. Trees, flowers, herbs, spices, things you didn't see anywhere else. They must have been from before, or from outside. She'd bring the children here to look after them.
I never got into gardening, you know? Hey, they're just plants. We can get you some more. I find Farah, we can ship them in from wherever you want. Flowers, trees. You're a princess. You deserve it.
Yes,
You can make these gardens grow again.
yes,
I think we can get down now.
yes. Please, let's leave.
When was it that she... When did your mother die?
3 years ago. Since then, all these places have withered. When she died, it was like hope left the kingdom. Since then, the plants, the people, the whole place, it's like they died too.
It's a shame the healing couldn't bring the plants back.
When I was a young girl, there were fish in these ponds. They went with everything else, left untended. Maybe Father was right. The quest of our people is past.